This one's a character. There's some big toys out there. Oh, he's got a log. What is that? Is that a piece of concrete? Oh my goodness. Hi, Bear. Oh, there's a dragonfly down there. Oh. 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 Oh, so cute. So cute. Oh, baby bears.
Hi, come on up.
Hi, baby bears.
What's up, buddy?
Hi, babies. Hi, babies. Oh. Hi. Oh, yay!
Come on up. We've got bears on both sides.
Pretty babies. What pretty bears.
Pretty guys. Hey, pretty.
Marcus, you say excuse me before you push in front of me. Okay, I didn't hear.
Be sure and hold on to your cameras and cell phones. Be very, very careful. If you drop them into the habitat, we can't guarantee they'll be in the same condition when we get them out.
What did you say? Yeah, basically anything you drop in there, you can't guarantee it'll come back out the same condition. Dropping in there. Look at their little faces. Oh, they're sweet bears. They're sweet bears. Yes, it's sweet bears. They're sweet bears. Oh, don't back into him. No, 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 no. No, no.
Jay's here. Well, he just brought a lady up in a wheelchair and headed back down.
Oh, okay.
That'd be nice bears.
Oh, Jay. Hang on.
Hi, thanks for coming out today, folks. Welcome to Portraits of the Bear. All of the bears that we have here are orphans.
No, 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 no.
They're killed around the town and village. It's been the policy of the Department of Fish and Game for many years that when that happens, rather than answering nuisance calls about little bears being in somebody's garbage can or in a fight with their dog or getting hit by cars at 2 in the morning when folks are on their way home from the bar, they simply take the little cubs and shoot them. They had tried to get rid of a number of them years ago by sending them to zoos down south, but they found a kind of a cold reception. People in zoos did not want to take in terrified, traumatized, angry, furious little parasite-ridden specimens, because they would have to spend 6 months to a year, and perhaps not ever, to be able to get that little bear to respond appropriately to put out on exhibit as a representative for their species in a zoo. So finally they just began begging off. They said, no, thank you, we'll pass. We'll get our bears from captive bred facilities or zoos down south or from Yellowstone or Glacier Park or somewhere else. Now, we kind of examined the problem of what the situation was, and the principal determination was that the way they are cared for before they leave Alaska impacts how they behave in captivity for the rest of their lives. These little bears were born in January during the coldest, darkest part of the winter. Now their mother would ordinarily breed for the first time around age 5. They breed in the spring and have delayed implantation. The embryo is fertilized in May or June, but will not begin to develop until usually late October, when that female has put on enough weight to ensure her survival. So after breeding, a female bear spends all summer gleaning every available calorie from our local environment. They'll work out onto the tide flats, rolling over rocks, licking up sand fleas and little crabs, digging up clams, scraping mussels and barnacles off the rocks, feeding on grass and sedge along the beach, rotten kelp. They'll move into the forest where they consume more than 100 different plants. In the swamps, they dig up roots and tubers. When they do particularly well is when the salmon are spawning in our local rivers. Right now, our streams are glutted with fish. The bears know that. They beat the fish at the estuaries when the salmon first arrive, and where they can catch fish fresh from the ocean, they'll consume them in their entirety. But as the season progresses, as those fish ripen towards spawning, as they travel up the streams and rivers to spawning areas, the female fish begin to dedicate more and more of the fat and oil in their tissue to the eggs that they're carrying that will be the next generation. So by the time the fish spawn, deposit their eggs in the gravel, there's nothing left in the tank. Their bodies are completely exhausted and the salmon all die. The bears know that, so when they move on to the spawning grounds to feed on fish, they target the female salmon. They will consume the brains, the skin, and the eggs. They may consume as much as 40,000 calories a day in fish eggs. Now they're putting on 3 to 5 pounds of fat a day in the late fall. But then as the days start to get short, when summer winds down, the storms are brewing offshore, the ground freezes, there are no more berries on the bushes, no more fish in the streams, the grass is shriveled and dried. That female bear knows she needs to spend the winter someplace where it will be cold, quiet, dry, dark, and secure. She'll move up a canyon like the one to our north here, traveling back in 4 or 5 miles, climbing up 600 to 1,000 feet. She'll look for a natural cave, an overturned root wad, a hollow log, anything that provides shelter. If she can't find anything suitable, she'll dig back into the hillside, perhaps as much as 10 or 12 feet, creating a nest chamber at the end of that tunnel that she will line with sticks and twigs, grass and moss. She goes into that den just about the time the big winter storms hit. So as the temperatures plummet, the snow flies, she curls up asleep. The embryo that she's been carrying all fall will begin to develop. In January, the cubs emerge from the birth canal, blind, helpless, hairless, weighing less than a pound. They crawl through their mother's fur to a nipple on her chest, and they begin to nurse. So for the next several months, the sensations that those little bears know in the darkness are the warmth, the heartbeat, the texture, the taste, and the odor of their mother. And they belong to her because for the next 2.5 years, she will be their nutrition, their security, their mentor in what can be a very harsh environment. While she's in the den, that female bear consumes no nutrition. She eliminates no waste. She's steadily sacrificing her surplus body fat to those little cubs in the form of milk. By April, she will have exhausted her fat reserves. It's time to leave the den or she's going to starve to death. So she'll dig out where there's no berm in the entrance. She'll head down off the mountain with her cubs following very close at hand. Now the little cubs have got 6-inch legs. Their mother has a 3-foot stride. So they have to scramble to keep up, particularly in the heavy, dense vegetation and down along crossing streams and rivers. Sometimes they're swept away, sometimes they don't make it all the way to the beach for the first time. If they do, some of the most important things that their mother teaches them, in addition to which trails to use, where to find food, are which bears to socialize with and which bears to avoid. As she grew up, their mother would have been introduced to bears in her mother's territory. When she establishes her own territory, it overlaps that of her mother. So she's surrounded by her grandmother, her mother, her cousins, her aunts. and other bears that she's familiar with. And she transmits this information to her cubs. If they run into a big male bear, that female may send them up a tree for their own security. A big male may try to get those cubs away from their mother. Yes, ma'am.